there. So today I'm going to be sharing with you a tutorial for the Bobbi Brown Rich Chocolate Eye Palette. I showed this to you in a review a little while back. This just has so many beautiful colors in it. You can do a really light natural look, you can do a more dramatic look, or something sort of in between like I have on today, which is what I'm going to be showing you. This is a look that you can add a little bit more colors to make it more dramatic for nighttime, or you can lighten up a little bit if you want to have more of a softer daytime look, or you can go somewhere in between like I have done, which to me is just sort of a nice, soft, smoky, everyday look. And I have started by prepping my skin with the Lancome Advanced Genifique. It looks like this. I really like this to prep my skin for foundation. And for my foundation, I'm using my Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Plus, and this is in shade 30. And I have also gone underneath my eyes with a little bit of my NARS Creamy Concealer. It looks like this, and this is in Light 3 Honey. So I think that is everything. Now let's get started with the shadows. Okay, so the first thing I want to tell you about are the products that I use to sort of prep my eye area. The first is Urban Decay Primer Potion. I always use that before any eye look. I also use the La Roche-Posay Redermic Eyes. I use that all underneath here. Just pat that in really lightly. My concealer goes over the top of that really well. And then I filled in my brows with my Clinique Superfine Liner for Brows in Soft Blonde, and also the Bobbi Brown eyeshadow in Cement, which is right here. Thank you to John for suggesting that to me, one of my friends. He suggested I fill in, that would be a good color to fill in my brows with, so I've been doing that ever since. So thank you to him for that suggestion. So now let's get started with the eyeshadow. So I have the palette here, and the first color that I'm going to use is down here, and this is Bone. I'm going to start by using that as a primer all over my lid, just to sort of even out the skin tone and create a nice base for all of the other colors to go over the top of. And I just sort of pack this on gently. And it really just evens out any redness on the lid and creates a nice surface so all the other shadows will just blend really easily over the top of that. Okay, now that I have a nice base color down and my skin tone's evened out on the lid, I am going to go back in with the color Stone, which is right here. I am going to use that as my blending color, and this is my Sigma E25. It has a nice sort of flat pointed top a little bit here, and I really like that not only for laying down color on the lid, but also I think it does a really good job of creating nice lines for blending and things like that. So again, I'm going to go in here with Stone on the tip of this brush, tap off the excess, and then I'm just going to create a line right here where I want my darker colors to be lower than mostly, and then my highlighter to be higher than. So I'm putting that down right here on the lower side of the brow bone. And I find that this Stone is a really good color. It's a lot like MAC's Soft Brown, so if you already have that color, you know what a great blending color that is. Okay, so I'm just working that in. The next thing that I'm going to do is add my brow highlight. I like to do that ahead of time also, or at the beginning. So for that, I'm going to be using the color in Champagne Truffle, which is right here. And I have a small brush that I like to use for that, and this is the Sephora Pro Shader number 18. Really nice little flat tip, as you can see there. And I'm just going to go in again and get this on the top of this brush. Tap off the excess, and I'm just going to barely put that right underneath the brow. Just adds a nice soft highlight. I don't want it to be too much. I just want a nice soft highlight. So, and I've done all of these same shadows on the other side. And this isn't like a really dramatic highlight. It's a very sort of soft, nudie, sort of pink color. Creates a really good effect just to highlight that area without being too shimmery or shiny. Okay, now I'm going to go back in with the brush that I used for the blending shade, and I'm just going to kind of blend these two colors together so there's not any obvious edges here. And I'm not going to blend the blending color too much up into the brow bone. I just want to soften it up a bit. Okay, the next color that I'm going to use is what I'm going to use all over the lid and up just slightly into the crease. And that is going to be this color here, and this is Cocoa. This is my favorite color of the palette, definitely another matte shade. I absolutely love this. It's just a nice sort of brownish, grayish, definitely more on the brown side, but beautiful neutral color for the lid. And I am just going to go in and pack that color all over the lid. Now this look ends up being a little bit smokier than some might want for a daytime look. I really like it for a daytime look, but if you are not comfortable wearing this dark of a look during the daytime, if you want something a little bit lighter for the office, you could use all of these same colors, but maybe just not to the, not build them up quite as much as I am, just use them a little bit more lightly. But I still think this look is just fine for every day. Okay, so I'm just packing that in really well all over the lid, and then I'm going to start bringing that up into the crease. And I do bring shadows up a little bit higher just because I do have a hooded eye, so I need to make sure I get a little bit of that darker color a little higher so that that area, the hood area, recedes. Now the next color I'm going to use is right here on the end, the Rich Chocolate. I'm going to use that as an outer V color, blend that a little bit up into my crease, and then I'm also going to use that as my eyeliner. So you can go right back in with the Sigma E25. I love this little brush, it's so versatile. And it's funny, this is actually one that I got free when I ordered other brushes, and it's ended up being my favorite. I think it was like a free gift with purchase when you spent a certain amount. So I'm just going to get a little bit of that just sort of on the tip of the brush here. Tap that off, and I'm just going to place it carefully right here in the corner, and then I can start blending it in. And I want to keep this on the outer third of my eyelid. I don't want to go too far in with this color, so I'm just going to blend it up slightly with little tiny small circles staying out here on this outer edge, just so that's where I'm concentrating the color. And then once I get a good blend going, I will bring that over a little bit. Again, just horizontal on the brush, just working that into the crease over a little bit, but mostly staying here at the outside edge. And then I'm also going to go back and blend all of these together better with a clean brush, which I will do now. I think I have a good level of color that I'm comfortable with, so let me go ahead and go back in and start blending all of these together. To blend all the colors together, I'm going to be using a MAC 224, just a nice fluffy blending brush, and this is nice and clean so I don't muddy up these colors. But I do like to blend really well, especially when I'm using a little bit darker shadows like this, like the Rich Chocolate out here at the corner. I just really want to make sure there aren't any harsh edges or lines. I really want it to all just sort of melt together so it all looks like it was meant to be together, and you can't really tell where one color starts and the other one ends. So just, I alternate with small circles and then just back and forth. And you really can't blend too much in my opinion. For my eyeliner brush, I'm using the Bobbi Brown Ultra Fine Eyeliner. This is a really great detail brush, really small bristles here at the top, really fine. This is my absolute favorite eyeliner brush when I'm using matte shadows. It just does a really good job of packing on the color, and it also does a good job of not creating fallout below the eye area. A little bit will still happen, but I find this really holds on to shadow well and does a good job of just keeping it where it's supposed to be. So let me just go in here. I'm just going to tap this on. And I like to go a little bit thicker at the outer corner here because, again, my eyes do go downward, droop downward. So my line's a little bit thicker, and actually I said that, now I'm getting a little bit more fallout than I normally do. I think I didn't tap off my excess very well. And I'm just keeping this line really nice and thin. I want it really close to my lash line. So just going in really gently with this brush. Again, this brush just holds on to the shadow really well, makes it really easy to line with. Okay, now let me get a little bit smaller brush so I can go underneath. And for that, I am using this e.l.f. Professional Concealer Brush. I mentioned this in another video. This was $1. It's really inexpensive, and I found that it's a really great eyeliner brush. So just going back in here with the rich chocolate, get a little bit on the brush, tap that off, and then I'm just going to go right underneath here. And I'm not going to go all the way in. I'm going to focus it mostly here on the outer corner, and then just use what is left on the brush just to bring that in a little bit. Just sort of let it fade in naturally, just like so. I'm also going to take the brush that I used to blend with, the MAC 224, and I'm going to go back and get a little bit more of this Champagne Truffle, a little bit on the tip of this brush. And I'm just going to use this to kind of go into the inner corner and highlight a little bit. Again, this is really soft, not an obvious highlight. And that will kind of brighten up that inner corner just slightly. Okay, so now let's move on to the mascara. Okay, now that the eyes are done, I'm just going to do a few more things to finish off the look. I have already set my foundation with my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish, and this is in light medium. So now I'm just going to go back and add a little bit of bronzer. I'm using my Bobbi Brown bronzer, and this is in Golden Light. Just a really pretty soft color. I think it just adds all year round. I don't wear a lot of bronzer this time of year, but I think all year round this just adds a really nice subtle sort of glow. So I'm just going to go in really lightly in the E pattern and just kind of add a little bit of color to my skin. And down the nose. That's it. Just a nice matte bronzer. Next, I'm going to add a little bit of blush and color to my cheeks. So for that, I'm going to use this color right here. It's the Bobbi Brown Desert Rose, number 15. And this is part of my custom palette that I put together. This is just a really nice neutral pink color for every day. It kind of goes with every single look. Definitely a color I like to travel with because it is so versatile. And I'm also using my Bobbi Brown blush brush for this. Again, another one of my favorite brushes. Just going to buff that onto the apples of the cheeks and upward. Next thing is some highlighter. This is the Bobbi Brown Brightening Brick, and this is her newest one in pink, just pink. Really pretty, not a lot of really heavy glitter in this, just a really soft, subtle shimmer. I'm going to go back with the same blush brush, just kind of swirl all these together, tap it off, and just add a little bit right here on the cheekbones. Swirl it again, tap off, and just going right here to add a little bit of highlight and a little bit of glimmer. This might be something you would skip if you just wanted to do a daytime look, but I like to do this especially for an evening look. And then finally, the last step is lips. I'm using the Bobbi Brown lip liner in Ballet Pink. Again, another nice neutral pink. This goes with so many lip colors. And then I'm going to top it off with a shimmer lip gloss. Let me just do this. And I'm going to fill in my entire lip with this. Okay, and then the last thing I'm going to use is my Bobbi Brown shimmer lip gloss. And this is my teeny tiny little size in a Rose Sugar. See if I can get that for you. This actually came as like a gift with purchase. I think it's super cute. I'll be really sad when I use this all up. I think I'm going to order the full size of it though. I love it so much. So that's it. That's my look using the Bobbi Brown Rich Chocolate Eye Palette. Definitely a favorite of mine. I've been loving wearing lighter looks with this, more dramatic looks with this. I'm definitely going to be taking it with me when I travel next month. I think it's such a great versatile palette. You can get so many looks out of it. Definitely don't limit yourself to what I've shown you here today. Play with it a little bit. You'll come up with lots of combinations like I have. I hope that you enjoyed it. I thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you very soon. Bye-bye.